What do Pope Francis and David Beckham have in common? Check out today's episode to figure it out.
Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Wendy. In today's episode, I'd like to share with you one of the real estate hidden secrets, especially in big cities. It is the leasehold property, or in Germany, we call it the Erbpacht or Erbaurecht. And this video is divided into 3 parts. Part 1, I want to share with you some background just to get to know what is a leasehold or Erbpacht. And then part 2, I want to share with you my take on the pros and cons of the leasehold or Erbpacht property. And finally, make sure that you stay until the end because in part 3, I'd like to share with you my take on when a leasehold property or an Erbpacht is a good idea. Hey, if you're here for the first time, make sure that you click on the subscribe button below and turn on the notification so you'll get to hear more and more insights in the following videos. And write down in the comment down below and let me know if you have ever considered a leasehold property or not. Travel around the world, the first time I heard about the word a leasehold property was when I was living in New York. But later on, I realized that when I traveled to UK, when I traveled to Miami, and now in Munich, Germany, leasehold property concept exists in all the major cities. Most leasehold properties are offered in metropolitan cities because land is a scarce asset. And who is actually offering those leasehold property? Well, first one is the Catholic Church, and second is the local authority. Sometimes it's some foundations or also trust. So why Catholic Church? Fun fact, Catholic churches around the globe owns around 177 acres of land. They are the largest non-governmental organizations that own the land in the world. Erbpacht, leasehold, they sound really boring. Do I need to know about this? How about this? Our favorite British soccer player, the amazing David Beckham, even he proposed to the city of Miami for a leasehold deal. He proposed to build up $1 billion worth of multi-use soccer stadium in the city of Miami. And the annual lease rent is going to be $3.5 million just to lease the land. What does that even mean when it's a leasehold? Meaning that when you purchase a property, in a traditional way, you buy the home and you also buy the land underneath that. But in the case of a leasehold property, you are just renting, you're just leasing the land. To put it in the simple term, this is just like one day when you want to go buy a new car. It turns out that you're just buying the frame of the car, but you don't own the engine. You're paying the rent each month to borrow the engine. Got it? Alright. Now you know the basic idea of a leasehold Erbpacht property. Let's talk about the pros and cons to it. Let's search for some apartment today.
600,000 for 3 rooms. 500,000 for 3 rooms. 600,000 for 4 rooms. It's so expensive. Whoa, under 300,000. And it's even larger space. It's an Erbpacht.
First of all, the attractive part of a leasehold property or Erbpacht is the price. It's so much cheaper, as you can see from my previous search. Usually, the Erbpacht property is 30 to 40% cheaper than the comparable normal properties. Why? Because as mentioned previously, when you purchase a place, there are two elements in there in the normal setting. There is the land that you're paying for, and then there is the house, the apartment itself. So in the case of Erbpacht, you don't pay for the land. You pay for only the property. The 30 to 40% discount is just a rule of thumb. And here's a good example that other factors impacted. Because as you see that the property I found was 300,000, only 50% of the regular comparable in the market. Why? Because the other factor, which is the tricky part, is that you come in to see the property, admire the picture, be amazed by the description. And the key things when you look at the Erbpacht is here. Something special about the property is that the Erbpacht leasehold lasted until December 31st, 2042, meaning that you only have 20 more years to own the property on the leasehold. The closer it is to the expiration date, the lower the value of your property. Because when the lease expires, the land provider can either buy your property at the discount price or basically take your property away. But that's think from the good perspective. As long as the lease still go on for a long time, if it's still 90 years remaining, then I can really feel at ease to move forward with the transaction. Now let's talk about the con, the nachteil of an Erbpacht. No appreciation potential. Without the appreciation potential, I personally think that really takes away the fun of real estate investment. Why isn't there the appreciation potential? You have to think that since it's on the leasehold, the closer we are to the lease expiration, the lower the price, the value of this property. Because you know that the new owner will not be able to occupy this place for long. As investment is really a money and numbers game, let's talk about the other thing that's so important. It's about financing. How does it work for an Erbpacht? When you purchase a leasehold property, you get the opportunity to apply for mortgage, same as regular property. But the problem is that you have an underlying leasehold. You cannot do unlimited financing and refinancing because the bank is scared that what happens if they lend you money after the leasehold? And that is not it. Lastly, the disadvantage that I found for Erbpacht is that it's very difficult to sell. In your regular home, if you want to sell it one day, you can simply list it on the website and find a buyer. But that's not the case for Erbpacht. When you want to sell a leasehold property, you have to first get the approval from your landowner. In the bureaucratic world like in Germany, that's really adding another layer to the already difficult market. To decide whether an Erbpacht is a good investment, first of all, I recommend you to make sure that there is enough lease term in your property so that you will be able to sell it at a given time. Then is to look at your cash flow potential. So assuming we're doing the comparison of a freehold, which is a traditional house, versus a leasehold, and the purchase price will comprise both
the price of the property itself and also the land. But in this case, let's say from the listing, we get the combined price. So the free traditional home start with 600,000. And then our leasehold property is the one that I saw, which is half the price of that. So 300,000. And in terms of the down payment, the bank is okay that I put in only 10% of my 600,000. So 10% of that brings me to 60,000. But for the leasehold, the bank usually require that you put a higher percentage. So that will be 20% of my 600,000. So it's going to be also at 60,000. So that means my purchase price minus my down payment, that's the remaining part that I will have to borrow from the bank. And with that, I did a pre-formula setting. So that will bring me to my monthly mortgage quite different. And since we own the land, we don't pay for anything for the freehold, but based on my previous review, that's going to be 250 for the leasehold. That means if I add up the two, the monthly mortgage and then also the monthly lease rent, the difference of those two will be 2,000 versus almost 3,000. In this situation, I am paying way much more to have a leasehold property. Why? It's in particular because I have a shorter time frame for the leasehold. In this case, given that I only have 20 years left, the bank is not willing to lend me for more than 10 years. But if situation change that the leasehold still remain a longer time, the bank is willing to lend me 30 years of money, then it really significantly bring down my mortgage. So now on a monthly basis, I only pay 1,000. In this case, I am very well off to own a leasehold property.
That's how you get to an understanding of if this is a good deal from a cash flow perspective for me to purchase the Erbpacht. And that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching today's episode, and comment down below if you think Erbpacht is a good opportunity or if you will be starting to look for some opportunities in Erbpacht or leasehold around the globe. And if you have not done so, make sure that you click on the subscribe button down below and turn on the notification. I will see you next time.